What's up, everybody? I'm going to be doing the timing belt on this 2001 Miata. It's got the 1.8 liter 4-cylinder. I believe it's either the 1.8 or the 1.4 that comes in these Miatas. I have already started taking everything apart. I pulled the power steering pump out of the way just because there's an O-ring back here that is really hard to get to. Let me see if I can zoom in. On this little pipe right here, it goes into that hard line that goes that 90s up. There's an O-ring on the back side of it, and it's way easier to get if you just pull the power steering pump out of the way. So I did that already. I'll put in a time lapse of when I started on this last night so you guys can see a little bit. Super easy, way easier to pull the radiator out. It's just two 14 millimeter nuts right here on top of these little brackets. Pull them out, undo the hoses on the radiator, and then on the bottom side of the radiator there is a little Phillips head drain plug. Super easy. They're not usually torqued down that much, so you don't have to worry about stripping it. I actually used this. I didn't even lift the car up off the ground to do it. I just put a drain pan, reached under there with this little stubby screwdriver, and got it good. So I'm gonna set the camera up. I'll try to get it somewhere where you guys can actually see what I'm doing. It's gonna be a little dark in there. I'll try to talk through some of the more important parts. I know you have to pull the balancer off, which is good to get the engine at top dead center first, just so you don't have to worry about trying to spin it or anything when it's not. But there is an indicator on the crank trigger wheel that is behind this. So you have to pull all this stuff off. It's easy to pull the belts off, just loosen up. I took the bolt completely out, sitting right here. For the alternator, take the belts off. That's super simple. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that in time lapse. I haven't watched the footage back yet, so hopefully you can. If not, there's a bracket right here for the power steering pump. I just pulled it completely out of the way. I was just unbolting things as I went. There's a little coolant hose that comes up here to here, and this one goes around to the throttle body. To undo those, I tucked it up out of the way. You have to pull the valve cover off. The car has just about 130,000 miles on it, so it's prime time to do the timing belt. When the valve cover is off, I'm going to be taking it and cleaning it up and doing a little surprise for my girlfriend. This is actually her car. She has always wanted the valve cover to match the color of the car. She put this lip on the car and she wanted to paint match it, so she got paint matching spray paint. I don't know how well it's going to look, but I just went and picked up some chrome spray paint as a base coat, and then I'm going to put this color on top of it, so hopefully it makes it pop a little bit more, because spray paint's usually never that vibrant like the color of this car is. So with the chrome base coat, it should come out pretty good. I learned that trick back from the BMX days of painting bikes and stuff, so hopefully it'll work on here. Okay, so I got the valve cover off. You guys just watched that in the time lapse. Got it over here. I'm gonna take some brake cleaner, clean it all up. I do have a Scotch-Brite. I'm probably gonna do that first. I'm just gonna lay the chrome paint on top of whatever's there. I don't have any primer. Actually, I do have some primer up there. I don't know if I'll do that or just go straight with the chrome, because it's going to clean up pretty well. And with the Scotch-Brite, I don't think I'll need to. It's a pretty solid base color already. But here's what the inside of this engine looks like. You know, the cams look good. I did notice though but there's already a paint mark on here, so that means that somebody's been in here before, because they don't do this from factory. From every video I've seen, every engine I've seen pulled apart, there's no paint marks. That tells me that someone's been in here before. I am kind of under the suspicion that this timing belt has been done already, but it's super loose, like really, really bad. And I highly doubt that it's supposed to be like that. From my experiences working with the JZ's other engines with the timing belt on them, it should not be that loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull everything off anyway and do it. It'd be really nice if I didn't have to do the timing belt, but we have a brand new one anyway, and that'll give me peace of mind, let me sleep at night, and my girlfriend also will not be mad for wasting the money. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna set the camera back up over there and clean it up, and then lay down the chrome paint. And then with this piece right here too, I don't think I'll be able to pull the solenoid out of here. If I can, that would be cool. But I'm gonna tape everything off, pull that piece off, sand that down to where it's nice and shiny again, and paint the end and the housing, and try to get all this blue to match the car. And I'm thinking about doing this piece with the chrome, because that's gonna get a base coat of chrome. I could just let that dry, tape it off, and then paint this blue so there's not too much, so there's a little bit of contrast in here. We'll see. I'm gonna go get the tripod set up and you guys will see it happen. All right, well, I was gonna surprise Jennifer, but somebody came home from work early. This is what we're looking like. It's just a chrome spray paint from O'Reilly's. It actually looks pretty good. It's a little less dull in person than it is on camera, or a little more dull, I guess.
I was gonna say I like it like that.
I think it would look really good with the blue. I mean, we can run like a test piece on a different piece of metal and we can check it and see what you like. But I wanted to do this piece right here. You have to come over here to look at it. But this piece sits on top. That's the thing that goes over the front. I wanted to leave the bar chrome and then paint the housings with the blue.
Yeah.
So when you pop open, it's all paint matched to the car, but then there's some chrome, and then I left the bolts on there to where the bolts will be chrome, so they'll stand out.
Yeah. Oh, I got on my API.
No. We could let it, we could leave it like a fade, you know? That looks pretty cool being faded like that. They're pretty fancy. Okay, little update. My phone died. I had Jennifer use her phone for some of the painting and stuff. Hopefully that footage turned out good. I know it's getting kind of dark. It's dark now. I've been at this for a while. Color's not too far off. It's actually under the light. It's not clear coated yet. I did mess up a little bit with the paint. I did the Mazda really well though. I just used this, I guess this is her favorite nail polish, and it's kind of expensive, I guess. So she's not mad about it because it looks really good, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with the heat gun and warm it up a little bit, and then add a coat of clear and let it sit overnight. And then I'll come back tomorrow, and if it's good, no more clear. If it's not, I don't know if I can just apply clear over dry clear with that, if I have to scuff it up or anything. I'll just probably stay here and do 2 coats of clear on it. I have the heat gun out there, so it's not too cold out here, but it is Washington, so At least it's not raining. I'm gonna carry this back over there, and you guys aren't gonna see it because it's really dark over there. I guess I could set the camera up. You might be able to see it, but it's just gonna be really bad quality. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that pretty well. Just gonna hit it with the heat gun for a minute. Everything's dry. I just want to warm it up a little bit. It's still pretty tacky, so that's good. The clear is gonna stick to it. Just a little bit of heat or something on top of everything, especially the nail polish. But I'm not too worried about the nail polish running or anything like that because it's so deep in there. I just don't want it to mix and look weird with the clear. All right, so it's the day after. Just checking on the paint and everything. The camera right now makes it look really dark, but it's actually pretty bright. The chrome looks really good. Can't believe that's spray paint, honestly. Doesn't look bad. There's a couple runs. It definitely didn't sit right with the paint. I should have tried to let it cure for longer before I added that. It would have looked way nicer. Jennifer says she likes it. I'm not too excited about it, but it does. You can kind of see it over there. Kind of matches the color of the car. I don't want to set it on yet just because it's going to get dirty and I don't want to risk chipping the paint at all. But I don't know if I put it in the video yesterday. This is not ideal in my eyes. I think I talked about that yesterday. I'm gonna set up the tripod again, get everything torn apart on the front end and check the tensioners and everything. I'm pretty sure that it's been replaced, but the tensioner is not doing what it should if it's that loose. So we'll go ahead and take a look. I'm gonna get the tripod set up, start up another time lapse because it's gonna take me a long time to do this, and this would be like an hour-long video if I didn't put a time lapse in. So anyways, all right, so I just watched the video real quick just to double check on everything, and it does look like the intake cam, I don't know why it says E and I for intake and exhaust. It's backwards for that plate. This little hash mark right here needs to be lined up with that. The intake, well, the exhaust side is pretty lined up. It could come back just a hair to get this a little bit more lined up. You can see it right there. So it's a little far off. I don't think that that's going to change much. I'll go ahead and spin it back. Hopefully this one is off because the car does run a little bit weird. So I'm hoping that this is the culprit. Let me grab my wrench real quick. Just slightly. So it's got to be off a little bit because down here when I'm at TDC, I'm not TDC anymore. As you can see, it's not in that groove, so it's not TDC, and that is still not lined up with the big hash mark right there and the little white one. They're off, and that is way off. So what my conclusion is now is that this thing is way off on timing, and that's why it's running so weird. It always has felt a little bit laggy. We have another Miata here, which is a 1.6, I believe. Feels way torquier. It just feels like it's faster for some reason, which it should not, since it's a smaller engine than this. I still have to figure out how to get the bolt off down here, the crank bolt. It's giving me a hard time because I don't have a pair of vice grips. So a trick to do this is you can put a crescent wrench on here, on these, and it's like a bolt shape, whatever. It's just a part of the cam where you can spin it and hold it in place. You can put a crescent wrench on that, and then you can vice grip them together, and that'll stop the front end or the top end from moving, and then you can just put the car in 5th gear, and that'll help hold the bottom end so you're not putting all the tension on the belt and the cams and everything. I tried with the ratchet strap because I don't have a pair of vice grips right now. I tried with the ratchet strap to hold the wrenches together, and I tied it to the shock tower. While I was doing that, it started making some noises that I don't want to hear doing stuff like this, so I stopped doing it. But I did not have the car in 5th gear to hold the bottom end, so I'm going to try that again, and hopefully that works. I don't know what they're torqued to on the crank pulley bolt, on the crank bolt. Seems like a lot. I had that wrench, and then I had that one double stacked, and I was pulling on it, and I could not get it. I had my son in the car holding the brakes for me. I'm going to try strapping everything down again, putting it in 5th gear, having him hold the brakes again, see if I can break that loose, because I do want to pull the trigger wheel, the crank. I guess it's not really called a trigger wheel. It's just a crank pulley or timing pulley or sprocket. I don't know the correct term for it. It just does what it does. I'm going to pull that off because I need to replace the front main seal, and I'm going to have to pull off the cam. The cam pulley is when I get everything off, because I do also have some new cam seals. While I'm in here, I'm just going to do it. Peace of mind. They don't look bad. Since this has been replaced before, I'm assuming that those were replaced as well, but I'm not 100% sure. It does not look like anything in here was done correctly. Obviously, the timing marks are way off. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix another person's mistake, and hopefully that works. We can get this thing back on the road. I'm going to switch back to a time lapse now. Are you holding?
Should I get out of the car?
Did it. All right, you can hop out. Thanks for your help, buddy.
Why should I hop out?
Why should you hop out?
Yeah.
Because I don't need you in the car anymore.
When you say I'm in the car, I gotta push the brakes. I want swimming.
You don't want to slam it?
Yeah.
That's not what we do.
All
Alright, so I got it. This is what I had to do. Have the hook in there. I just wrapped it around that. It's tight. And then a trick that I know for doing flywheels, put a bolt in here and then brace it to something. So it's pretty tight right now. Actually, it's loose. I could probably pull it out. I just used one of the bolts that hold on the balancer and put the wrench around it. You can do that on your flywheels as well and do it to like a... I'll show you what you can do. So this is a 2J that I have. So one of these bolts to break it free, or even on the flywheel. There's little dowels on the flywheel that stick out. You can put a wrench on one and then put closed end or whatever on this, and that'll brace it to where you can break them free. And you can also do that to get the crank pulley off. So that's basically what I did. If you don't have an impact, which I don't have mine anymore, it would have been really helpful in this, but I didn't have that. And then I just stacked 2 wrenches together. You can see that in the video. I did it. One of the wrenches looked like it was bending pretty good. I was giving that almost everything I had, gently, because I didn't want to, I was scared of breaking it, so I wasn't trying too hard, but hard enough to get it. Tensioner pulley. Just take it. Get it out of the way completely. Okay, not by the car, buddy. All right, so
Whoa!
this belt looks like it was rubbing on something. You guys can see the, it's hard to get the camera to focus. The edges right here and right here look like they were rubbing on something the whole time. Oh, money. I don't know if you guys just watched how easy that started sliding off. That was the best experience I've ever had pulling one of these out. I think it's called a cogwheel or something.
Is this mine?
Sure.
Okay. Can I bring it to your house?
You mean to our house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I bring the bubble home and then
All right.
can we go take out?
Got it out. It's at TDC right now. You can also use the Woodruff key as your TDC mark. I have seen some people put grease on these to put them back in to make it easier, but I'm just gonna tap it in with a hammer. Now, see if I can get
736. 0736, Daddy.
sure.
Stop saying sure.
Sure.
Stop saying sure.
So you pop in to the seal and give her a pull right out. And it's looking pretty new. Besides where I just ripped it, doesn't look bad. So that's out the way. I put some oil on the seal, which is always a good idea. Perfect. Crank seal is in and done. Hopefully, it looks like it's in too far with the camera, but from my point of view, it's good. All right, so I got the light turned on. Hopefully that helps a little bit more. I have decided that I'm not gonna change out the cam seal because when I pulled out the crank seal, it was in fact new. Everything looks fairly new. This car doesn't get driven very much. It's only had maybe 10,000 miles put on it since Jennifer picked it up. And we're not sure of the service records, but everything was new, so I'm just gonna leave the cam seals in there. I don't want to mess with anything. There is some, which I know that somebody has been in here before, because there is RTV in the corners of the cam caps themselves, which should not be there from the factory because they didn't know about that problem in the factory. That's locked in. And that's locked in. Okay. Gonna crank that TDC again. see if this works. All right, so I just watched a video. There's a trick. So I'm having trouble when putting this one on, that it spins this one back a little bit. It tightens it, pulls it back. So I found if I pull the crank slightly to the other side, counterclockwise, get this one lined up to where it needs to be, and then I put the belt on, and when I slide it onto the tension and it pulls tension, it's gonna put this right back at TDC and leave this one where it should go. So I'm gonna try it one more time and we'll see how we can come up with. Time for the best part of this timing belt job. Ooh, that looks good in there.
Yeah, dude. Woo, that was good in there.
Final piece of the puzzle. Alright, well, I got the valve cover on. The VBTI solenoid, hard reel and everything's put on. Looks pretty killer. Got the chrome bolts put in. It's pretty nice, pretty close. Just that's way more sparkly and it's wrinkled, so it doesn't match. You could see right in there, if it was like that all smooth and didn't wrinkle, it would look just like the car. All right, day number 2. Last night we did the first test drive and everything after doing the timing belt. I figured that would have caused the misfire to go away because now the cams and the crank are reading correctly. That did not change anything. It actually changed a little bit. The car felt way better to drive, started faster, just ran better. But then right before we went to go home, the car had been sitting for maybe 10 minutes, turned off. We turned it back on, and as soon as we turned it on, it was misfiring again. So I'm gonna fire it up first thing in the morning. Well, it's like 1 o'clock now. First time firing it up today. We're gonna see what happens. Hopefully it see, it misfired for a little bit. Right at the beginning, started to misfire. Starts up just fine. I mean, a little bit slow. I don't really know what the problem could be. I'll pop the hood and we'll see if we can find anything. Oh, it's already popped. So we'll see what we're looking at here. I don't think it's going to be anything like crazy. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be a coil pack. Let me get this hood propped up here. So I kind of think that it's going to be a coil pack. Something is going on. You know, I was reading that, you know, these are really old wires. They can just be really brittle and they will possibly break over time. Oh, that's where that went. Nice. I didn't know where that went. It was never like that before. So I kind of think it might be like a wiring issue, but I'll fire it up again and then come out here and take a look. see what we got cooking here. Unplugged cam sensors and it shuts off immediately. So I don't think it's the cam sensor that's the problem. Obviously, if I unplug the coil packs, it's gonna do the same thing. I'm not 100% sure on what the issue could be. I'm gonna have to order some parts. Maybe I'll do some more diagnosing on it and see just what I can come up with. But for now, I guess this is gonna be it for this car. I have to do more research. I'm not gonna make this video 35 minutes long. It'll be in another video. But for now, it's all done, painted, everything's put back together. It runs really good for a little bit. I wonder if it's just a heat thing. Maybe I'll let it get up to temp and then see if it happens again. If it does, I'll record it and put it in the video so you guys can see it. But until then, thanks for watching. Subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think this could be. I don't know. I'm new to Miatas. JZs and Supras, a lot easier to work with than these things are. Are you happy it's done, bud?
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.